So today I thought I would do something just a little bit different. Normally I don't talk about myself, but I just wanted to say, I play a lot of games, and it's mostly because I've worked with children for a very long time, worked with special needs foster kids in the community, and so I always try and figure out things to help keep them entertained and amused while we're on shift. And even sometimes when I'm off, I'll go over, we'll play Magic, the card game, or we'll play Dungeons and Dragons or some other game like that. So what I wanted to talk about is my Dungeons and Dragons DM Kit to go. And mine is pretty light compared to some of the people that I know, but of course I still play the original game that I got started playing back in 1982 when it was my birthday. I received the red box set from a friend of mine, and I still have that set today. Right. Of course I did graduate to the advanced Dungeons and Dragons first edition, and I kind of just stuck there. I still play one of the same games that I've been playing with my best friend Sam since we were 13 years old, and he just lives down the street. We still play every now and again. We just played last Wednesday, so it was a very good time. But for my kit to go, I want to break out a few of the things that I consider to be essentials, and just talk about some of the things that you really don't have to have in order to have a good time playing Dungeons and Dragons. I know with YouTube and a lot of these crafting channels, I watch a lot of them, and I do a lot of crafting myself. And you don't have to go that route in order to have a really good time. You don't have to have all the minis like I have. You don't have to have the 3D printers and all of the other things. When I first started out, we had the rules books, pencil, graph paper, and dice, and that's it. That's what we played with for years. Even when we got our miniatures, we never really set them up and used them for much of anything other than, hey, this is my cool little guy and this represents me, but we really didn't do a whole lot with them. It was all in our head. We drew down our maps on the graph paper. We didn't have all of the modular dungeon tiles or anything like that, and it was still hella fun. And I would argue even more fun when you kind of have to make that mental image for yourself based on the descriptions that you're given. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and break out my kit and show you exactly what I'm working with, and maybe it'll help inspire some of you guys to just kind of maybe pare down a little bit and maybe put a little bit more into the aspect of playing without all of the aids. This is the Tiny Takes Productions. Alright, pencil, a couple of different markers in here, and some erasers. Not a big, pretty standard. Just to make sure we have enough pencils for everybody to write down things and draw the maps, whatnot. Of course, notebook, graph paper, pretty standard. Here's where we get into all the good stuff. So this is my kit right here, along with those couple of things. This is all I need to run any D&D game that I ever want to play. So let's go ahead and break out some of the things. First thing, I always take extra packs of dice with me for new players. I like to give them a little something to remember the game by, and maybe help to incentivize them to want to play, other times on their own. I do a lot of index cards. We do a lot of characters on index cards. We do our treasure and our party loot and stuff. We write it down on index cards. It's much more portable than large notebooks and things like that. So I always keep a bunch of those with me just so we can roll up characters on the fly. You can have them for whatever notes you need, and that kind of thing. So this is what most people have no clue and I've never seen anybody really talk about it as far as in their Dungeon Master kit. For those of you who do not know, this is a Raspberry Pi. This particular model is a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus in a nice little Cana kit. It's got all the little hookups, power cord, I've got the HDMI cord, and I keep a mouse with me so that I can go through. This particular one will do retro games, or it'll go into a computer mode. Now on the computer mode is where I have all my files stored, and I have all of my books, all of my modules, and everything I can get my hands on digitally stored on here. This is literally 40 plus years of Dungeons and Dragons information, books, modules, everything. I also have every issue of Dragon Magazine, as well as several other games that I like to play. Gamma World, GURPS, Car Wars, Auto Duel, a lot of things like that. So this guy right here, when I first picked it up, they were going for like $35 on Amazon. And then I paid like an extra, I think 20 or something for the Cana kit to actually install it in, with a little bit of a fan. This I picked up separately because later on I did pick up another one, which is this is my newest one that I use. I still don't use it in my kit because it's not as portable. You can see it's the box and everything that goes with it quite a bit bigger than the smaller kit. But this is literally the same thing as this, just installed in a keyboard. And I haven't got this one fully loaded with all of my Dungeons & Dragons stuff. Again, I don't take this one with me. This one I use more for programming and for playing a lot of retro games and things like that. So anyway, these guys are amazing. This is a full computer. This is a full computer. So you can do anything. It has Bluetooth, it's got wireless. I can connect a wireless controller to it. I can play all kinds of retro games. And it is literally one of my greatest assets as a dungeon master, being able to take this and hook it up to any TV screen, monitor, even laptop screen, and be able to reference all of my materials no matter where I'm at is probably the greatest advantage, way greater than having to cart around a lot of books and a lot of dungeon tiles and all the other stuff that, you know, I would have normally at my house. This is, I would say, something that every dungeon master should get and should load with all of the PDFs, all of the manuals, all of the adventures, all of the resources that they can possibly get their hands on. And just as a little extra, one of the places that I like to go is the Internet Archive. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but they have an archive of almost everything that's ever been put out in any kind of print or media, and I get a lot of resource material from there. So I hope this has been helpful for you. It really doesn't take a whole lot to actually play a game of Dungeons & Dragons, and my reference materials. If you'd like to help me in my quest to bring Dungeons & Dragons to the foster care children here in the area, you can support me. I've got some affiliate links that I'll link below, and 100% of that will go to providing games for these children. So really appreciate it. I know they appreciate it. Thank you so much.